Well, this show marks our entrance into our third year of Marshashana Yoga. It has been an interesting journey where I have learned many new things and come in touch with many good people. Our producer, Liz Harkins, has helped us to make the show a reality and continues to support us throughout this ongoing process. Although my yoga teaching experience is limited, my love for yoga is not. I see the benefits and read about the benefits and personally know the benefits all the time. For me, it's resulted in a complete elimination of lower back pain from a long time ago injury, better posture, more self-examination physically and mentally. I've begun to look at my own thinking and adjusting that to include less judgment and more love and compassion. And last but not least, much improved feet. Of course, the studies show what yogis have known for thousands of years, about 5,000, but which came to printed word about 2,000 years ago. In ancient times, breath work and postures set the stage for the meditation piece. The ultimate goal, enlightenment. People sought happiness through mind, body, and soul. The word yoga does mean to bind or yoke, and it does bind these things together. Yoga is not a religion. It is a very old form of self-improvement. And I guess the ultimate goal at the very top, enlightenment again, one with the divine. The research supports the idea that yoga lowers blood pressure and heart rate, reduces stress, anxiety, and depression, lowers blood sugar levels, increases strength, endurance, and flexibility, and mindful eating can result in weight loss. Yoga, we know, soothes the mind and the body for those who do practice it regularly. So I come here and I teach in my classes as really a form of service to others. I want to bring this to the world because to me this is the answer for a healthful, fulfilling life that addresses mind, body, and spirit. This show is not about me though, really. It's really about my students. And also the one that truly set this into motion, my son, Mark Mancuso. Hi, Mark.
Hey, Mom, what's up?
Hey, we're here talking about the show today.
Yeah.
Mark has been the director of the show. He's the one who comes in and, with Liz's assistance and direction, it helps to set up the set the way you see it. He knows exactly the way to set that up, right, Mark?
That's right.
He also takes care of our sound, our...
Yeah.
What do you do now with the with these?
I help Liz with the lights and the key and the microphones. That's really all I think.
Yeah, and then when he's in the control room, he is actually monitoring the camera people.
That's right.
He's got a headset on. He's directing them in how they will
Yes.
direct the different shots.
That's right. Yeah.
Right? If we need a wide angle or
a side angle, whatever.
Yeah. So Mark has been doing this for 2 years now, and he's doing really well at it.
Yeah, I love doing it.
Yeah. And what grade? Tell them what grade you're in.
I will be a senior next year.
That's right. He goes to Milford High School. He's a senior. He works up there in the media department sometimes with Mr. Folster there. He's a student of his.
Yeah, well, I've been studying at the high school. I've been studying studio video with Mr. Foster, and it's going good. I love school.
That's right. Mark loves that. He's going to be a senior next year. Now, what else do you do besides? I mean, this is our thing that we do, but what's your main love in life?
Wow.
What do you love to do?
It's very funny. My favorite is my music. I used to have a keyboard. I used to play keyboard, drums, not bass yet, but lead guitar and backup guitar. And my favorite focus still is the guitar.
That's right. Mark is a musician, and he has been since he was born. He has always played his instruments, and he's very good at it. And at the end of this show, you'll see him doing a little bit of picking on his guitar during our Shavasana. So Mark he is going to come on to do a little yoga with me later too, just a little bit. I'm going to show you a few poses. Because, you know, for a long time, Mark and I did yoga twice a week in the morning, right?
Yep.
Before school. And we stopped this junior year only because Mark could go to the cafeteria and have breakfast.
No, actually, it's backwards.
Okay, go ahead.
Actually, I go in because to see my friends. And, well, actually, I go in because I'm a senior. I will be a senior this year. And so I just go in, have practice with my new buddy, Ryan.
Yep.
And hang out with his friends.
Yeah, so he likes getting to the caf early, so we cut out that yoga this year. But we always did it a couple mornings a week.
Right.
And in return, I'd take him to Dunkin' Donuts after for his bagel.
Yep.
But we would do some work together. And even though it was only 10 or 15 minutes, I think it made a really big difference for Mark. And I think it's great. Now, isn't there yoga at the high school now, Mark?
We do at gym, but I don't do gym this year. I'm doing video.
Okay.
So it kind of, but next year for my senior year, I am definitely doing gym next year. I talked to my teacher, Miss S, about it, and see what she thinks.
Yeah, because, the yoga, they're bringing it right into the schools now because it's good for everybody. We know it's good for everybody.
Right.
So I'm going to let Mark get back to his directing behind the cameras there, and then later I'll bring you on out for that yoga session.
Perfect.
So go ahead.
All right.
Thank you very much, Mark.
Yes, Mom.
Mwah.
I love you.
My boy, I love you too.
Thank you.
So I'm just going to talk a little bit more about the yoga. Now, we know that yoga cultivates this awareness. So we become more aware of what we're doing. We become aware of how we're standing or sitting. Sometimes just a slight adjustment can make a difference. I had a lot of problem with one hip. I was sitting and driving with my leg up against the door. So I begin to bring that in. I become more conscious of it. While I'm driving, I'm also more conscious of my posture. So I'm bringing myself up straighter. I'm sitting taller. I'm not allowing myself to hunch forward. And you see that the gravitational pull as we age. Now, I know about 10 years ago when I started practicing this, if I would miss a few sessions, I'd say to my teacher, I remember messaging her, I'm leaning forward. I need to get to class. So it really does allow you to be straighter. Some people even gain a little height with it. We notice things. For instance, if you're standing, and we talk a lot about hatha alignment in hatha yoga, that's where it's at. So if you're standing in this kind of a posture, might not always be good for the body. So we do notice that alignment. But we also notice the way we're thinking. So we do start to think about, like, for instance, the stories that we call it the monkey mind, the story loops that you go on in your mind. You know, perhaps you've forgotten to mail your insurance check, and all of a sudden you're thinking about the accident you had last year, and your rates are going up, and all of a sudden you're going on this big old loop, and we all know that. It's human nature. But in yoga, we attempt to rein the monkey mind in a bit. We attempt to calm it down a little. And we do that, of course, by focusing on our breath, and we spend a lot of time with the breath work. So we do begin to notice. We notice the judgments we make. You know, we all do it. These are all human nature, so no one's above this. But, you know, when someone's walking by, oh, I hate that color on her, or ooh, this or that. So we tend to, that stuff. We begin to start thinking about that judgment that we're making. And we also try to be more compassionate. And here's the thing about yoga. If you practice it, you can't help but become more compassionate and loving. So yoga is just full of great stuff. There's a reason for everyone to be involved. So with that in mind, let's move to the mat. We begin our session today by drawing our attention to our breath. We notice the rise and fall of the breath. we know that we haven't really attended to the breath very much. We don't give a lot of thought to it during the course of our days. But during our time in yoga, we do focus on the breath. We begin to observe the rise and fall of the breath. We allow our thoughts to quiet, to descend. And we do that by just noticing the breath, staying with the breath. As we inhale, we draw in a sense of peacefulness. We draw in new life, new prana, energy. And as we exhale, we let go of that which we no longer need. As we inhale, we bring new oxygen into the body, to the tissues, bones. As we exhale, we relax the back body. So for a moment, just bring the hands to the abdomen and just allow them to rest there as we try that three-part yogic breath. We breathe into the abdomen. We notice the rise of the abdomen. We bring that up into the ribs and then into the chest. A nice, solid, liquid movement, fluid movement. And then exhale. Chest, ribs, abdomen. So we just notice returning to the normal breath, the rise and fall of the abdomen under the hands. And then move the hands to the sides of the ribs, resting the elbows on the floor. And again, we take that three-part breath, filling the belly, and then expanding the ribs and up into the chest. And then exhaling, chest, ribs, abdomen. And just returning to the normal breath as we notice that sensation of the ribs moving underneath the hands. And in yoga, we also think about that lateral movement of the rib area, so moving sideways. Then bring your hands one over the other on the chest. And again, we breathe into the abdomen, the ribs, and up into the chest. All the way to the collarbone, and then we exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Release the hands to the sides, returning to the normal rise and fall of the breath. So in yoga, the breath actually consists of the inhalation, a short retention at the top, at least for beginners, and then the exhalation and a short retention at the bottom. And now just release, if you're in the Supta Baddha Konasana, you can release your legs. If you're in Shavasana, well, your legs are already long. So let's extend the body top to bottom. Just really stretching through the heels and the fingers, and then exhaling the arms down by the sides. We just bring those feet up. And as we inhale, we're just going to first press down with the feet and then small the back a little. And then we're just going to inhale and just let the legs go to the left a little. Exhale back up. Inhale, other side. Exhale up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Extend the legs, extend the arms. And then just allow one hand to rest on the other elbow. So just let that chest area open up. We just take a breath and just expand that chest area. And exhaling. Bring the arms up in the air and down by the sides. And if you are on your bolster, you can just lift up and move that to the side, coming down to that flat back position. And extending again the arms and legs. Reaching through the fingers and the feet as we ground down with the backs of the legs. Exhaling the arms down by the sides. Bring the feet to the floor one at a time, and then draw the knees into the chest one at a time. Bring your hands to the top with fingers pointing down. Inhale as you lengthen. Legs are hip distance apart. Let the arms stretch, the shoulders stretch. Exhale, pull them back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Giving those abdominal organs a nice squeeze too. We're going to work on getting rid of toxins and old stale stuff. Let the legs come forward, widen them a little further than the hips. Inhale. Exhale forward. Inhale in. Exhale forward. Now just cross the feet at the ankles. So you widen the knees a little bit and just rotate around. And as you do that, notice that sensation on the lower back, on the sacrum as we move over that. Feels like a little massage. And then coming over the other side, change the cross of the ankles, come back around. Pulling your knees towards the chest, then letting the arms go long. As we move around, just breathing, so definitely feeling the bottom of that back. And then come in and draw the knees in and the feet up towards the ceiling. And then point and flex the feet. And then make some little circles with them and the other way. And then draw the soles up again towards the ceiling. Bring the arms through the middle of the legs and grab the sides of your feet and just rock back and forth a little in happy baby. Bring the feet together down to the floor. Extend your legs, extend your arms. Exhale down. Now just do a little pelvic tilt. So push the small of the back into the floor. Nice warm up for the back, release. Again, push that in, bringing the pelvis towards the face, and then releasing. And once again. So we just warm that lower back up. Bring the feet to the floor one at a time. Draw the right knee into the chest and hug it in. Take a breath. And then cross that leg over and just open your hip with the thumb. So we're just encouraging that hip opening. Now the hips hold a lot of emotions, and that's where we hold them. So we open that up, not only to release the hip itself physically, but also to release any tension or stuff that we're holding in that area. And then we reach up into the thigh and open that as well. Draw the legs up. And just hold them here. Now let the feet relax. Don't be tense. Inhale into the chest. Exhale, relax the back of the body. Again, inhale. And exhaling. And exhaling completely, because we hold that stale air at the bottom there, so we try to expel completely. And as we hold this position, release happens in the hips. So then we're going to extend that left leg up, interlacing behind, and just point and flex that a little. Stretching that hamstring, I always feel that. And then pushing that sole up. And then let that left foot come right down to the floor, and take the right leg, foot in the left hand, knee in the right elbow. Draw that in towards you as that other left leg just stays with the knee upwards bent. We draw that in, we get that nice stretch through the right hip flexor. And then release that leg. Extend the arms, extend the legs. Exhale your arms down by your sides. Bring the feet up to the floor one at a time. And draw your left knee into your chest, just hug it in. Take a breath. Expelling completely. Just lift that left leg up and just push the sole up to the ceiling. Make sure you're engaging the hamstring by moving that thigh into the interlaced fingers. And then point and flex the foot. And push that sole upwards. And then draw that leg over the other knee. And just bring your thumb to that hip and just open that hip area. And then opening up the other, further up the leg, the thigh. Draw them up, take a big breath. Again. As you exhale, let that back body go, let it relax, let the hip go a little, let the feet relax. Bring the right foot to the floor, take the left foot in the right hand and the left knee and the left elbow and draw that in. Keep your chin level, keep your right knee upwards. And then releasing that, extend the legs, extend the arms. And then relax the feet. Bring the feet the distance of the mat and let your arms relax. Focus on the center of your chest for a moment, the heartbeat. And then bring your hands to a goal poster position here. And then make a loose fist. And as you roll the wrists around, just roll the ankles too. We're just kind of warming everything up. And go the other way. And then just let the arms come to the floor in a cactus position, so you get that 90-degree angle. Just resting the shoulders down, good opener for the shoulders. And then even though they won't touch, bring the big toes towards each other, and then back and forth as we open the hip area up. And then come back to center, bring the arms down by the sides. Now, bring the feet to the floor and walk your palms down as you walk the shoulder blades down the back. Take a hold of the sides of your mat and pull downwards and away. As you open the shoulders, you can see that expansion of the shoulders. And then lift the back thighs up towards the ceiling in Setu Bandha, in bridge pose. And here the chin drops to the chest. Take a breath. And another. And just coming down one vertebrae at a time. And now we'll try that again, but we'll bring a block between the thighs. So let the feet be a little bit out. It's going to anchor the hips in, walk the shoulders down again, and once again, come back up into that pose. And then lower down slowly. Extend the legs with the block in it still. And extend the arms. And exhaling down. Remove the block. And we'll just roll over and just come up to a seated position. We're going to extend the legs long in front of us. Hip distance apart. And we'll just point and flex the feet. And then reach forward and lift the chest up. So we keep that chest lifted, we keep the shoulders relaxed, the back straight. Take a breath. And then walk up and just widen the legs to where it's comfortable for you. And just reach across the body. Come back, come the other way. Inhale, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Toes are up. Inhale. Exhale. Whenever we cross the midline of the body, it connects the sides of the brains. Bring the feet to this position. Feet are upwards. Bring your hands to the middle. Let your upper arms rest inside the thighs and the thighs push in towards the arms. Lift. Exhale, drop the head. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale up. Exhale down. And then walk the hands up. Let's come up to table position for a moment. And in that position, you know we have that nice box shape, shoulders right over wrists. Make sure your fingers are not inwards. Very, very careful. Bad for the shoulders. Move them either parallel or slightly out. If you have shoulder issues, you can move them a little more outwards, a little wider, you know, what will suit you. But try to stay basically right wrist over shoulders. Tap the backs of the feet. Right foot back, rock it back and forth. Other one, rock it back and forth. Now bring that back and come back to sit in this pose, right? One thing you can do to make it easier to pull the flesh away and back towards the heels and then come down. It just frees up a little space. You can also sit with a block between your legs. You can use a bolster or a pillow, whatever makes you comfortable. This is not comfortable for everyone, but it's good for most for the knees. Of course, if you have issues, you always want to check with your doctor. You always want to honor your body. There's no pain in yoga. There should not be pain. Stretching, so don't go that far that you would cause pain. Just come out of it. Bring your right arm up, drape it over your head. Just tilt it over a little, just stretching that neck muscle. Come back up, extend the arm up and lean over towards that left side. Keep the head with the arm. Buttocks are grounded. Bring that down, take the left arm up, drape it, let the head move to the side. Come back up, arm is up, leaning over. And then coming up, stretch across the body. Keep the torso straight, come back. Other way. And then coming back. Now as you come up, lift off of the buttocks and stretch the arm. Come back down, lift, and coming back. So let's tuck the toes, or whichever way you want to come up. Sometimes that's not pleasant for people, so we always honor the body. Coming up to your mat and coming to the front. Now, you may need your blocks if you can't reach the floor, so you can have them there if you like. So we come to this position. Inhale, lift the toes. Exhale, down. Inhale, coming up on the toes, up an extended tall mountain, lifting up, strengthening our legs and feet. Exhaling down. Bring the arms up, interlace them, extend them up, and then just lean a little to the side. If you have shoulder issues, leave the arms open. That's okay too. And then the other way. And coming up, exhale down. Bring the arms out, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And then bringing the arms down. Make sure that you're in Tadasana, that your feet are even and parallel. We want to ground down through the all four corners of the feet as long as you're able. We lift the arches. If you're like me with the fallen arches, I try to move the weight to the outsides of my feet a little. Tuck your tummy in, drop the shoulders and fingertips down. Take a big breath, expand the chest. And exhaling. Inhale your arms overhead. Tuck the spine, the abdomen back to the spine. Fold, come into that forward fold. We're looking back down behind us, between the legs. The feet are parallel. Take a breath. Soothing to the nervous system. Now bend your knees and bring your arms up behind you like you're skiing and come down. Bring the chest to the thighs. Interlace the fingers behind you. And then lift up on the arms and lift up off the chest. Come back down. Release the arms. Bring them by your head and come into chair from a slightly different way there. Building endurance. Dynamic as we reach up, we settle on down. Again, bring the hands down, back to ski position. Bring your chest down, check your feet, interlace your hands. Take a few breaths while your chest is near your thighs here. Take a couple breaths. Now lift the arms and then lift the chest up off the thighs. Breathe, don't stop breathing. Lower the chest down, release the hands. Bring them up by the ears and come back up into chair. A challenging posture, so working those thighs, keeping them parallel. Drop the arms, come up, inhale, lift. Exhale down. Now we will step wide and we become even and parallel here, making sure that the feet are nice and even. We're going to extend the arms outwards and then bring them up and then fold until you reach your legs or ankles or wherever you can. Don't put any pressure on the knees, looking back. Come upwards, bring the hands to the hips, come up, turn the right foot out, left one in a little. Face your torso this way, extend your arms and bend the forward knee in Warrior Two. And as we do that, we gaze out over that arm. We drop the shoulders down. Keep the back leg steady. Virabhadrasana 2. Straighten the front leg. Reach forward with that right hand and then bring it down as you move the other one up in Trikonasana. Keep the head even and looking forward. Come up, hands to hips, feet forward. Come to the middle. Either hopping or walking. Inhale, raise the toes. Exhale down. Step wide again. Make sure the spine is nice and tall. Again, extend the arms. Bring them up. Lift out of the waist. Fold. Bring the hands to the legs. Look behind. Bring your hands up towards the hips. Bring the torso up. Turn the left foot out all the way. The right one comes in a little bit. Extend the arms. Lift the chest. Bend that forward knee, bringing it into that 90-degree angle. Anchor that back leg, that back foot. Good. Keep it strong as we gaze out over the hands. Arms long, hands relaxed. Straighten the front leg. Cut back with that hip as you reach forward. Come down into Trikonasana. Keep the ribs rolled up a bit. Come back up. Hands to the hips. Bring the feet together again. Inhale. Exhale. Let's move to the front of the mat now. As we just come into down dog. So we're just going to come into our Tadasana position and then into Uttanasana, our forward fold. Place the hands next to the feet. Step back with your left foot. Step back with your right foot. Come into plank. Bring the shoulders right over the wrist. Make sure the fingers are not inwards. Draw the abdomen up, but drop the buttocks down. Keep the top of the thighs rolling inwards towards each other. Come into down dog. Lift the right foot up in the air. Bring it through into pigeon. So we want to bring that right foot towards that left hand. And we want to make sure that back leg is straight and flat. Sometimes you have to look back. Bring your body down. And just come down to wherever you're comfortable. It's a nice stretch through that right hip. Really nice. This is a great hip opener. And walk back up. Come back to your table and come back into plank. Back to down dog. Lift that other foot. Draw it in towards the chest and over towards the right hand. Flatten that right foot back there, and then come on down. Just stretching that left hip in pigeon. And then walking back up. If your hip's way up off the floor, you might want to support it with a block. And then coming back. Just come into child's pose a moment. Take a block, rest the head. And just for a moment, interlace the hands on the back. Let the rest at the bottom of the back. Take a breath. And then we'll just come up. So let's do one more thing. Let's come down on the mat for a moment, flat down. Bring your left hand over so that the shoulder sits over the elbow. And then take your right hand and take it to your right foot and just lift the chest. So lift that right foot as you lift the chest too. Push the hand into the foot, foot into the hand, getting that nice opening in half bow. Drop that. Bring the right hand over. Shoulder right over elbow. Be careful for that to protect the shoulders and everything. And then take a hold of the other. And look, if you can't reach it, a lot of people use a pant leg at first. Or you can use a rope, a belt. So again, pushing, lifting the chest. And then you can always try to do the full bow by lifting. And then releasing. Come back up to counter that. Come back to child's. So from here, let's just come up to standing, coming to the center of your mat. We're just going to quickly do a little cleansing routine, bring the legs a little wider than hip distance, begin to swing with an open, loose fist, an open sleeve effect. And then we're going to begin to tap the soft shoulder point right below the shoulders as we assist the lymph nodes in draining. These don't drain well on their own, so we can give them a little help by just tapping kind of vigorously. And then we come back to this open sleeve. And then we begin to tap at the lung points just above the breast and just giving that a vigorous tap as we work anything out from the lungs. Good if you're sick, getting over a cold, or like our producer, pneumonia. This would be good for Liz to do. And then coming back to the swinging sleeves. And then we begin to tap the kidney points. So I'm just going to turn so you can see as we just tap at these. So as we do this cleansing routine, getting rid of toxins and such in the body, we can do this, assist by doing this. And then we come back to center, and we just clap and down. Just getting rid of the stagnation in the body. And then coming back. Now, one thing I want to do is bring Mark back on for just a few minutes, because Mark and I have done yoga, as I said in the past. I'd like you to show you how Mark does a few of the moves he does, and also a little partner yoga that we have done together that might be kind of cool to do with a partner if you have one at home. So we're going to do that now.
Ready?
I'm ready to do a little yoga, Mark.
Let's do it.
So I wanted to show you how Mark's pretty good at down dog. He's hyper flexible, which is pretty typical for Down syndrome. So he's good at the yoga. So why don't you go down and show him how we do the down dog, Mark? You remember? It's been a while, but I'm sure you remember.
Maybe you teach me some stuff here.
Yeah, and lifting up. That's right. And notice how he does that. And he just wants to even out his hands there. Good. See how he's got them nice and straight. Mark's very, very good. Now come into plank pose, Mark, the top of that push-up. He hasn't done it for a while. And then come back out. Now one thing, and then you can come down to your knees, Mark. And you know, one thing Mark and I used to love to do in the morning was our partner yoga thing. Remember, Marky, when we sit back to back? This is one of our favorite things. And we extend our legs and we hook our arms. And we make sure we get flat against each other. Move your butt a little closer to Mommy's. There. And then we go one way like this. Keep your toes up to the ceiling. So you get that nice stretch. He's adding a little pressure so that I'm getting a nice stretch through the back. And in this case, Mark relaxes on me for a minute. And then we come up and we go the other way. And I move towards Mark and I relax. Are your legs straight, honey?
Yeah.
Okay. I could tell they weren't.
Yeah, no, it's hard.
You got your toes up to the ceiling?
No.
We'll try to place them upwards. And then roll back the other way towards Mama. Yeah. It's a nice relaxing pose. And also stretches us. And we get to share our little love and compassion here as we do this. So as you can see, it's a great little thing to do with your kids or with your spouse. One more time, Marky, just because it feels good, huh? My Marky. And back the other way once more, so Mommy gets her stretch too. And then coming back up. And then releasing. Do you remember the other one we did sometimes like this, Mark? One more before we close up here. Remember the one we did like this where we face each other and then we try to hold hands and balance? Yeah, it's... Get on your feet. Get on your toes there. Okay. And then I'm just going to move back and stay there a little bit. And we just kind of pull away from each other, right? Pull your arms straight. There we go. So just, you know, we do this little bit of partner yoga. It connects us as people, and it also is good for us. Let's come on. Okay, very nice. Now Mark's going to play a little bit of music for us during our Shavasana. So Mark, just if you could do some light picking. Your guitar's here.
I don't get my sneakers. My flip-flops.
Okay.
Because you know me.
And I'm going to begin by just sitting down. You can either sit on your mat or your bolster or your pillow.
I'll go easy.
And I'm just going to ask that you bring your hands to the legs first. Bring them near the hips and just press down a little as you settle the buttocks down. And then bring your hands either up or down. As we just inhale to begin, we're going to do 3 ohms. Gently bring yourself to Shavasana, to corpse pose, just bringing the pillow beneath your head, and if you have a bolster, beneath your legs. If not, just resting on your pillow. Bring your attention to your breath. Noticing your inhalation and your exhalation. Allow your concerns to stay away for a few more moments. And as you rest there, I'll just read to you. So whether you have practiced for a long time or a little time, there was always much to learn and ways to become better. My own yoga teacher, who has taught for 30 years, goes to her teacher every week for a session, and I am always trying to learn more. So do not lose patience with yourself. It all comes together over time. Now gently begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. And then roll to your right side and just rest there a moment. With the feeling of surrender.
B.
And then keeping your sense of tranquility, bring yourself up to a simple seated position, placing the feet under the knees as much as possible. Bring the hands upwards. We'll do 2 Ujjayi breaths. Ujjayi breath, also known as victorious breath, is that ocean-sounding breath we make by constricting slightly at the back of the throat. It strengthens the diaphragm, tones the lungs, and rids the body of phlegm. It is said to rid the body of decay and disease too. So let's just do that independently. 2 big full Ujjayi breaths. Bring the hands to heart center. And bow the head. May the long-time sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the pure light within you guide your way home. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome, Mom. I love you.